Hi, I'm Preston Walker, licensed marriage family therapist. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about faith crises. Um, so this is for anyone that is going through kind of a different belief system now where they're being challenged with what they used to believe. It can be very difficult for some people who grew up in a particular religion or belief system then to have that be challenged. People can lose their identity, they can become confused, they can feel betrayed, um, they can feel lost. Well, this is disillusionment. This is a common thing that happens. And there's a way through it. There's a way through it to find healing. So the first thing I want to say is healing and trust are different. Healing doesn't mean that you just blindly trust. That doesn't mean that. Healing means something doesn't hurt anymore. So if someone has hurt you or they continue to hurt you, healing doesn't mean that you're going to put yourself in a situation where you're going to get hurt again. That's not healing. That's dumb. Don't do that. Healing doesn't hurt when you think about it. You can keep distrust. Distrust can be cognitive. You can protect yourself. So when it comes to religion, we look at things from like an agnostic point of view and say, okay, well, if God does not exist, what is an explanation for these different cultures that have some sort of belief in God? Well, perhaps there's a scientific explanation. Perhaps it has an evolutionary advantage. Now, it would either have an evolutionary advantage to a group or a culture, or maybe an individual. Well, is there any sort of evidence to support that? Well, if we look at emotionally focused therapy, when someone has secure attachment and they're given an electric shock and they're holding their husband's hand, it doesn't hurt as much. But if it's insecure attachment, they're given a shock and they're holding their husband's hand, it now hurts a lot more than it otherwise would. So the brain is saying, watch out, it's not okay, in one scenario. In another scenario, you're safe, it's okay. A similar study was done with Catholics at Oxford University, where they took Catholics, they had them look at a picture, and then they gave them a shock. And when they looked at religious symbols, they reported less pain. So these individuals might have a sort of secure attachment with their belief in God. Emotionally, they may have felt close to God. Now, so if there's a secure attachment that someone can have, there also can be an insecure attachment. So let's say someone is excommunicated, they're kicked out of their community, they see a religious symbol and heightened emotions come up. Yeah, that would be an insecure attachment. But if you're at this place where something was once secure, was once helpful, it may be possible to get to that place again. You might have a different perspective on it. For example, if someone were to look at Christmas and their belief in Santa Claus and they stopped believing in Santa Claus, I don't know why they would stop believing, but let's say if they did. It can still be magical. It can still be special, even if they don't believe in Santa Claus. It's still something that it's a tradition they enjoy. They enjoy the holidays, they enjoy gift giving, they enjoy the celebration. Perhaps that can be true with religion or belief in God, where you can take these aspects and say, hey, this was helpful. I may not have the same view anymore, but I'm not giving up this positive thing. And the way to get to that is healing. If you feel betrayed, going through that grieving process, grieving what you lost, grieving that old belief system. That is one way to go about it. And that can be something that can be done in therapy, can be done individually. But it's possible to get to this point where you can keep this positive aspect of a religious belief and not feel lost or look at the world different. Um, Disillusionment is very common, as I said before, and in some sort of framework, there's some people refer to like stages of faith, and disillusionment as being a stage of faith. That's an interesting concept. It's an interesting concept that someone can have faith but have like not black and white thinking, have like a lot of gray, or look at something from, say, you know what, here's this positive aspect. I don't identify with everything, but I'm going to keep this positive thing because it helps. It's an interesting concept, because with a concept like that, you could technically be agnostic or atheist and still go to church and still have a community, essentially. The flip side, though, if it's causing you pain, if you were ousted from your community, if you surround yourself in this community and it keeps hurting and it's a constant trigger, that sucks. That doesn't sound healthy at all. That sounds awful. I would expect healing could get you out of that, but also it's not good to put yourself in situations that hurt. So this process of healing, if it's something that you're going through, I encourage you to talk with a therapist. Faith crisis, it can be really hard. It can be really hard. Many people have gone through this. And there is light at the end of the tunnel where things don't suck. So I encourage you, if you're going through this, talk with your therapist. Should be able to help. Thank you for your time.